How you going, everyone? Jason here. Thought I'd make a quick tutorial on how to create maps for your 3D models using xNormals, which is a free plugin. I'll put the link in the details below. But basically with xNormals you can use it in Photoshop to create free maps, height maps, normal maps, bump maps, and ambient occlusion maps, which all make your model look very fancy. So all you have to do is go to this link which I'll provide and download xNormals, and once you have that installed, then you just open up Photoshop and grab your diffuse that you want to use. For instance, I'll just use this from a model I made earlier. I made a ball cube, and this was the texture that I made. And basically, all you have to do is you just drop your texture in like that, and make sure it's selected. And if you go to Filter, and you'll see xNormals here. And if you want to do a height to normal map for your normals, you just click on that, and it's as easy as basically changing. You don't have to change any of this. You can just keep it as the same. But if you do want to tweak it, the higher you go, the smoother your result will be. So if you go say 1.5 and update it, it'll be smoother. So and the lower you go, the rougher it will be. So it's quite rough. Depending on what your results are, would probably not go so rough. You want to try and keep it a little bit smooth if you can. It'll give you better results. And if you want it richer, you're best off making it deeper in your 3D program rather than doing it here, because once you've made this normal map, you can't change it unless you remake it again. So you're best off just making it smooth and then using that. And if you want to minus it, like if you want it to go the other way, then you just have to put all the axis on the minus, or if there's certain axis you want to be positive or negative, then you just basically do that, and that's all you have to do. And you just update it, and you just simply go continue. And as you can see here, if you zoom in a little bit, yeah, you can see the detail there, which is pretty cool. So yeah, and it's that easy. And all we have to do then is just file and save as, and just save it as, for instance, your norm. Okay, so that's like your normal map, and just save it as TIFF, Targa, or PNG. In this case, I'll save it as a PNG. Okay, so you just save it as a PNG. There we go. And then all you have to do is you can go to history, and then you just click back to go back to where we were. And then all you have to do is go back to filter again, and then go xNormals, and you can do an occlusion map. So you go height to occlusion, and it's basically the same thing here, depending on how you want it, like the thickness you want it to be, or how heavy you want it to be. You just do that. But I would probably keep it relatively normal, the way that it was originally. And if you just go continue, and there's your occlusion map, so you can then save that out. File, save that as PNG Occ, like that, for instance. And then smallest for good high quality. Okay, and now if you want to do a bump, what I'd suggest doing is if you just put a brightness contrast over the top, and then you'd probably turn the contrast right down, and then you just maybe boost the brightness up a bit, like this, for instance, and then you can use that as the bump. Okay, you can also use that as a bump, so then you just maybe merge it down, and then you can export that as a bump. So save that, bump, okay, save it as a bump. And you could also say go backwards, and you can also do specularity if you wanted to as well. So you could perhaps turn the contrast up and then the brightness down, so it gets the specularity. It depends on how much specular you want in it. By doing it like this, you'll get quite a lot of specular results. So depending on how you want it, you know, you could have it so it's sort of washed, so it will just be specular on the very tips, if you know what I mean. Or you could have it specular, like a heavy, depending on how you want, you know. But I would probably have it more washed out for the specular. So you'd probably, you know, have it around there somewhere, sort of like that. And then you just have that as your spec. So you save that, save as spec, like that, PNG. There we go, save. And by saving that, we then now have our bump, a normal map, a occlusion map, and a specularity map. And then you just have to put them in onto your model, and then you get some pretty awesome results. That's how easy it is to make different maps. So good luck, and I hope my small little tutorial helped you out. And please thumbs up or comment if you like my tutorial. And thanks again, and ciao for now.